When a bushfire threatened his remote wildlife sanctuary at Cathcart in February, Peter Day and his wife Mimi stayed to defend the property. But their plans suddenly changed as 3 large bushfires were about to join up.
A few minutes later, a brave man in a National Parks and Wildlife Service firefighting ute came speeding up the driveway and he said, "You got to get out of there now or you'll die."
They bundled up 4 of the Joeys in their care and followed the ranger out.
As we were driving out, my wife turned around and she could see flames higher than the trees.
When they returned a few days later, their home was still standing, but the task of caring for injured animals in the surrounding fire grounds was overwhelming.
It was really, really hard to find support. I was treating them on the ground where I'm sitting.
But only a week after the fires, a New Zealand-based animal welfare charity called HUHA arrived.
They were just waiting for help and no one was coming, so we jumped on a plane.
They put together an Australian team of vets and a dart shooter to sedate and treat injured kangaroos and wallabies. They also built a temporary triage clinic at Peter Day's sanctuary.
We either euthanize them if it's extremely horrific, or we can pull them in and bring them into the triage and start treating them. You guys moving, are you happy?
The team worked at the sanctuary for 10 days before briefly handing over to the Australian organisation Wires. But Peter Day terminated the arrangement and resigned from Wires. He joined another registered wildlife group to continue with HUHA's support.
He'd been caring for a long time and he was a man who knew what he was doing. I was very confident that the animals he had in his care were in good care.
Peter Day says the whole experience has provided valuable lessons for the future, a view shared by vets like Scheutze.
We, as Australian vets, were told earlier on that we didn't need to go out there and do that. We had to wait to be called, that DPI was handling it, RSPCA was handling it, WISE was handling it, that the national parks were handling it. And it did take a few weeks to realise that no one was responding.
There needs to be a rapid response and it needs to be headed by National Parks and Wildlife Service because they're ultimately the ones responsible for our native wildlife.
They're hoping that reviews into the bushfires will result in faster rescues of wildlife as part of overall emergency planning. Bill Brown, ABC News, Cathcart.